Very good morning to you, and thank you so much for finding time to being with us today. The show is Diplomatic Leaks, and on the show we're going to look at elections and elections in Africa as a poison to Africa. So we're just going to look at that, and of course, by the help of a few electioneering processes across the continent, even as we have in mind that Kenya, we are in an electioneering process right now as we gear up to our general election that is scheduled to take place later on in August. My name is Miriam Ogotu, and it is a pleasure to have you on board. I'm joined by Gladwell Kiragu from the other end. Gladwell, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam. Good morning to our viewers.
Okay. And so although the formal institutional makeup of many African states have changed, the underlying logic of politics has not. And the power and resources are still largely concentrated at the center, raising the stakes of elections like we've seen in so many other countries, including Kenya. The winner literally takes it all, while the loser is left, feeling of standing a bit small compared to the winner. And elections, especially here in the country, have a history of layering up existing tensions in Kenya, most notably that was seen that almost plunged this country into very dangerous grounds in 2007. The next election being a few months away, but the parties have already been negotiating for support, and power struggles have taken form since mid-2021, and we've seen the power struggles taking center stage. So perhaps I'll just pose the question of the topic that we have today. Are elections in Africa a poison, or is it how we conduct our elections? Because election seems to be working in other democracies, but when it comes to Africa, the exception of a few countries like South Africa or Ghana or just a few others, but majority of countries in this in the continent sometimes elections don't turn out too well. So is it the elections that is poison, or is it how we conduct our elections here in the continent? Glado?
Yes, Miriam, it's true. We need the elections are not poisonous as we term it, but how we carry them in Africa makes it to be poison. And it's how we conduct our elections that matters, because elections are necessary because we need change in leadership. We also need change we also need to have change in leadership. And another thing, not all Africans believe in that elections can bring change. But on the other hand, change actually begins with us ourselves. For example, you've talked of the war in the 2007. It was upon us Kenyans to fight to retrieve back. But what happens? We are manipulated, we are incited, and we fight our mostly end up to be our fellow neighbors. And that's why I'm saying elections are very important. But as Africa, how we carry the elections, that is what that matters, and that is what carries the day.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it's not elections necessarily that is a problem. It is the interests that are represented in that elections, and perhaps the process, which a lot of times has been cast with a lot of suspicion. You'd hear cases where perhaps the election was not free and fair. We saw how the election in Kenya was nullified in 2017, and then I think in 2019, the Supreme Court in Malawi, following Kenya's presidents, also nullified elections of Peter Mutharika, for his second term. So we've seen that happen. And of course, in Uganda last year, they did have the general elections, and the elections days leading to the general elections were characterized by widespread violence and human rights abuses, and the abuses included killings by security forces, arrest and beatings of opposition supporters and journalists, disruption of opposition rallies, and a shutdown of the internet. This has been characteristic of how we've seen elections happen in just a few selected countries across Africa. As we speak, France is gearing up to its elections on Sunday, and it's not a matter of do or die. They will elect their leader, and then the country will move on. Why is it so difficult, especially when you look at the example of a country like Uganda that I've just given, that elections is a matter of do and die?
Come again, Miriam.
You having issues with your network?
I've just had the last part a bit.
Okay, I'm just saying, like on Sunday, France is going to its elections, and the country will vote the new winner. If at all Emmanuel Macron is re-elected, he will continue. If not, then that's it. They'll have a new leader and the country will move forward. They do have a very specific blueprint for the country, and you'll see every leader that comes just falls into that. There's a direction that they're taking as a country. But when you see a country like, say, Uganda, which went to its election last year, of course, as I said there earlier, weeks leading to that election, there were cases of widespread violence and human rights abuses. And of course, there were killings and arrests and beatings of opposition supporters and journalists, and a disruption of opposition rallies. We saw that happening in Uganda. So I'm just wondering, if you were to draw parallels with what is happening outside of Africa and what we see, and an example, say, in Uganda, why is it? What would you say about our attitudes towards election? Does it have to be a matter of do or die?
Miriam, I'm sorry to say so, but Africa, we are not civilized. And that's why, for example, you find like when France will go into the election, whomever wins or carries the day, the people will be contented with it. But what happens in Africa, for example, let me talk of Kenya. We've made the process of how we do it, and we've made it a norm for it, and most of our culture in Kenya, whereby in Kenyan election, we must end up with either losing a contestant or an aspirant, or mostly with distractions, huge distractions, because we never accept defeat. The person who was supposed, for example, let me go back to the 2007. When Raila didn't win the election, that is when the chaos struck in. But what happens, for example, in USA, when is it Joe Biden, when he took over the position, the people were contented with it. So I'm thinking, like, we Kenyans, we need to be civilized and start accepting that elections will come and go, but at the end of it all, we need each other in full pieces. There is life always after election. And the funny thing is that election is just a one-day activity, but we carry the whole election. It's a full-time activity, and that's why Africa, we suffer a lot.
Mm-hmm. At the expense of other developmental agendas, like you've rightfully said, in the country here, our elections are coming up in August, but we have been on a campaign mode since the last elections in 2017. I think, especially after that handshake in 2018, the leadership and the political class started campaigning for elections in 2000 that was scheduled to happen in 2022 that will be happening in August. And this was at the expense, or is at the expense, of developmental agenda. Do you think our politicking that we've been having throughout might have costed us a lot of things and services that perhaps the government especially would have given? Because I remember President Kenyatta, talking to his, deputy president before things fell completely apart. And he was saying, could you stop with the campaigning? Let's first deliver the promises that we made to Kenyans, and then after that the campaign period will come, and then we'll start actively campaigning. But that was not the case, and we saw how that unfolded and brought us to where we are today, especially the relationship between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy. So do politics sometimes take center stage at the expense of other important national interest agendas?
Yes, Miriam, and as you have said, like in Kenya, campaigns started so early, and that's why not development is happening currently in our economy, because the energy the politicians are focusing on and putting on is on politics instead of first delivering what he or she was supposed to do in the country. And that's why, for example, you can see even between Uhuru and Ruto, they're not also getting into terms, because Ruto should be in the office delivering to country, but what is he doing? He's spending most of his days here outside yapping. The government is not doing this. What has he done, him being in the government? So I think the government, we should come up with a conclusion as a Kenyan that politics should start kicking off at a particular sector, not when you are elected to start campaigning immediately. Who does that?
Okay, all right, who does that? Good question. Thank you so much. And at this point, we're joined by Dr. David Matanga. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam, as I prepare my gadget to come back to you. Thank you very much for holding the fort. And thank you very much, Gladwell Kiragu. Your analysis is point on, Miriam, and your questions are point on. You were earlier on talking about Macron. France is going to elections. You put your manifesto. After voting, you want to see violence. People will go back to work, Miriam. Listen to the results as they work. The worst part of all this, why this topic is very important to Africa, is do we really need elections in Africa? They are a poison. We used to talk to so many good people together in UDA. Now when they find you, they want to reach you, even in a restaurant, they want to tell the waiter to pour water on you. Look at the scenario you gave of Uganda. Up to now, the leader of opposition in Uganda does not believe that he lost an election. He is busy everywhere, including in Europe, telling Europeans that the election was stolen. He's going to spend all that time going around the whole world telling people election was stolen. And then when it comes to 2026, he has not prepared his party for winning this election and sealing the loopholes. So election, in one way or the other, is used to hound out the incumbent out of office. For one, for the opposition in Africa to come in, go for him, put him in jail, or turn the country afresh, which cannot be. The elections in Europe that I witnessed, the Labour government goes off power, the Conservative government goes off power, another government comes in, takes over, good policies, bad policies. Their foreign policy doesn't change, Miriam. They still continue siphoning goods from us, from Africa, who are busy fighting, as Kiragu was saying. We are busy fighting. We are busy fighting while the metros of Europe are peaceful after elections. Ours, now see in Kenya, how much time have we wasted, Miriam? Up to today, Kalonzo is still going back to his delegates conference. Should I try? Should I not? You see, that is an election. Because of the word election. We are very good people. We stay together. It's a poison. We drink the same food, eat the same food, use the same matatu. We use the same buses, use the same airport. But when the word election lands in Africa, if you hear that your leader of opposition is flying out of the airport, you cancel your flight. Are we already? Have we reached the status of tolerance? Have we? Can you tell me that we have reached that status? Do we sell our manifesto, Miriam? No. We don't sell manifestos. We sell violence. Ruto at the moment is selling violence. You can see what he is planning. You can see that he is not in the government, with the government, near government, outside government, inside the government, top of government, under government, and he's still there. Because he has used the elections as an excuse. What will they do? I have to be there when they are handing over this sword to another person. Therefore, I'll stay in this power struggle, using the government resources to be able to campaign against the others. What is it for? We spend a lot of time insulting each other than spending a lot of time building one borehole. Show me what elections have brought in in Turkana, hunger. Show me what elections have brought in Northeastern. Drought comes, the same message. Drought is natural. God sends it. But God sends man to correct the drought situation. Miriam, that's my point I'm making. To dig boreholes for people in Northeastern to be able to take their animals nearest the borehole and pump water, which goes in the canal, then the animals drink. But because of elections, because of the election mood in Kenya, we have forgotten that those animals are the ones that earn us money. We have forgotten the camels that you sell, then pay school fees for your child. By the time you go back, because of elections, you are busy at a rally. Hey, we love you, you dear, we love Hasara. You even paint yourself with the yellow color and the green. Do you understand what the elections are in Africa? I don't think so. Believe me or not, I don't think so. People don't understand. Very few people understand. I don't know. No, I'm not. No, I think maybe South Africa. South Africans could be understanding what an election is, because I've never seen a contestation that comes out of South Africa because of they are contesting the results of the election. The election was rigged. So it brings me to another question. Miriam, why do you allow a poison to kill you? Why do you allow a poison to kill you? Why don't you go back and think? Now, look at this Kenyan election. Look at the Kenyan election. I want to show you where the poison is. The poison is the Electoral Commission, which is administering the portion. And then Raila will drink it, and the Ruto will drink it. When they have drunk on 10th of August, each one has created a tallying center. And let me tell you, the law is very clear about creating a tallying center. So why do you create a tallying center and announce your results? Create violence before you talk. You listen to the person you gave the portion to administer you, to administer the portion for you. Why? I'm reading the law of the Electoral Act. Does it allow tallying centers? People have taken the law in their hands and they are building a tallying center. Ruto is telling us that his tallying center will be in Kampala. He has broken the law. The chairman of the Electoral Commission should find anybody who has a tallying center, broken the Kenyan law. You can have an office that tabulates the result that come. You can write because you have agents there. Why do you have agents then if you want a tallying center? If you want to create your own tallying center, why do you want agents at the polling station? Reading the law very clearly, my sister. We are the victims. We create self-inflicted wounds. So it is a poison in Africa. Look at all the countries. Somalia, elections. Look at Somalia now, to the extent that Al-Shabaab is going to take them over. I'm telling you, Miriam, just ngoja kidogo. Utaona. Do you know what? These guys have now resorted that since Farimancho cannot go, the Islamic courts, the hardliners and the non-hardliners have joined hands. If you think I'm talking nonsense, you wait and see. They have just sacked, they have expelled my friend from Mogadishu, the Mozambican guy, Mandela, who was with me on the Uganda peace process in Juba. We worked together to bring peace. He has been said he has now changed into a political ally. Elections in every African country bring chaos. Tanzania, for example, look at what MPs were flying here, being given asylum in Kenya temporarily in the television station interviews. Magufuli wants to kill us. After that, they have now gone quiet. Have you heard of them talking again? They have gone quiet. Elections. They were paid, their bills were paid. The hotel bills, if you have the mortgage in Belgium, it was cleared. These guys came back. Do you hear them coming to Kenya to say thank you very much for having given us asylum? No, elections. Look at the countries. In Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kabila and Tshisekedi. Kabila manipulated Tshisekedi's entry into the winner. My friend Katumbi, that guy and another one, they were thrown out. Katumbi, with a vast empire, was molested by Kabila to the extent that he lost everything on earth, including the team TP Mazembe, the football club. My friend from Katanga region, elections. Look at Buhari. The first elections, the elections that elected Buhari were nullified at the last minute because they were going to be a poison, and they continue to be a poison. Out of 86 million registered voters, only 28 voted. 28 million voted. Where are the rest of the 56 or so million voters? They sat at home. Election. Let's go. Algeria. You have seen the government, the prime minister, another one go down, this one bring down, sacks the prime minister, arrested the prime minister. Elections. Let's go. Egypt. Elections. Assisi. Until Assisi reached the point that until 2032, as if he's God now, he has determined that until 2032, I will be here as the president. Life presidents, elections. Stability. He used the reason to say elections always disturb us. Stability is more important for Egypt because Egypt is strategically placed in the Middle East. It fights Israel. It is the only main opponent that Israel respects. Therefore, give me a term up to 2032 elections. Khartoum, elections. Bashir was overthrown because he had just won an election or preparing to have an election. People were complaining. They said the bread is too much. This and you stole election. The government, the army stepped in. Across in Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed chased away the Tigrayans from government, created a new party of his own, and made sure that it takes power. The election, the talk of change of constitution. Now, my question here is, which I want Kiragu to try to answer under you, Miriam. Is there anywhere written that Africa should have elections every 5 years? Whose doctrine is it? Whose doctrine? Where did we get this 5 years change of government? Why did we run to 1,900 years of democracy in Britain? And we want to pretend that we also want to act like a British and change governments every 5 years. Surely. Why? Why should Kenya change government every 5 years? Can you explain to any Kenyan why you waste over $60 billion to conduct a beating exercise for you to be beaten and shaped to pace? If you have a big stomach or a big body like a Matanga, it has to be beaten and one part cut off. Why? Why? Is there anywhere why we ran so fast to take an American style of business and say America, which is 256 years old in democracy, Kenya is only 59 years of democracy. Where did you get? Mulisikia wapi? Waliwaandikia wapi? Wanasema every 5 years. Every 5 years, have an election. Send your 70,000 70 billion Kenya shillings to prepare a surgery for beating, for cutting, for burning people's houses, for slaughtering people, for poking people's eyes because of an election. Where? Therefore, it brings me to a question. Does Africa need elections? Given that the poisonous few parts that I've told you. Look in Malawi before I leave. Mutharika and Dr. Chikwera. Mutharika did not want even the election to take place. Even when the court ruled, he said no, he's still the president. How much time and money we wasted on elections? Who is this who pays our second bill? They left the second bill to us to pay. Kenya here. They nullified one election and you had a second election. Raila did not take part in it. So you tell me whether people in Kisumu voted for the government they have. Elections is not good. It's a very bad thing to have an election in Africa when you are not yet very fully able to tolerate an argument of Matsanga on Facebook. That's it. Thanks God they brought the button. Kick it. Pa! That's what we are doing, Miriam. Kick the button. Press it. Is it the Africa we want? And then, you know, we are pressing this button on Wazungu's platform. No African has, you tell me one African who brought internet. Tell me, show me one African. Matsanga brought internet. Why is it that God only gave these other guys to bring internet? They brought something called Wi-Fi, internet. We are on Facebook. The whole world, we are finished. If you don't see your phone, it looks like you can even slaughter someone because you have not touched your phone. And we are busy talking about elections. The country that has invented internet, Miriam, is 256 years old. They vote. At times they vote by post. He sends his vote by post. Is there a country in Africa that accepts a post by post? Show me one. You will see how many people will go and market ballot papers and send you by post. In Britain, any election, I have voted 4 times by just voting by post. 4 times. But I have voted since 1987. Hello, Miriam, I've been voting. But for some 4 times, in the municipal and the county, in the municipal assemblies and town councils, what they call local administration elections of London Borough of Croydon, to elect our people, our mayors, our governor, our mayors of the borough, the mayor of London and the mayor of Croydon, the mayor of City, I have voted 4 times by ballot. In fact, while I'm in Nairobi, the other one I was in Zimbabwe, and I had to sign my form and allow it. My wife put it in the post for me. I voted ticked Labour, and they went. It was counted. I vote. Even now here, if there is any election in UK, I will request for the ballot to be sent. I will tick and vote. But has Africa reached a point where it can vote by free proxy, by ballot, by post office? Do you know how many people will forge those ballots? How many will come? Today, Kenya says they want diaspora. Do you know where the mess is going to come from? The election of Kenya 2022 might be nullified from the mess of the diaspora vote. You are going to see. Who is supervising the people there in the diaspora? Who? Someone will bring the votes. We are not yet mature to even vote from the diaspora. We are a group of brokers. Let's agree. We are brokers. We broker. We are broke. We do. This is brokerage. It's not election. An election is something credible. When you lose, you say, "I'm lost. I'm going back home." When you play by the football in Liverpool, you say, "Tomorrow we shall meet again." That is how an election should be conducted. When we Liverpool fans did not have a cup for almost 5 years, we did not beat up people. But the Kenyan election, we are preparing even pangas now. There are some people preparing, sharpening pangas in case. Just in case, if you go to these places now in people's homes, there are people buying pangas in preparation because he wants to become an MP. Yes, he has bought arrows. He has told those who make arrows to increase the number of arrows. Miriam, I'm telling you, this is not, it's a poison.
And Doctor, just to add on what you're saying, even on today's paper, on the Star newspaper, where there are 2 aspirants, UDA aspirant Ali Motsahu, who was shot at JCC Braxton in Mombasa on Tuesday night while heading home from a mosque. 17 bullets were removed from him. And also Thomas Omari, aka Sandona of ODM aspirant for Bombamba ward in Bomachage, Borabu, Kisii, who died after a panga attack on Sunday night. So, see. This
Look at that.
Among other cases that have not been reported, yeah.
We have people are spraying bullets on Amani's car because he has got intention and he has got support, and the constituents are saying, we want Miriam, we want Miriam. So go and spray bullets on him. Look at that guy left in Nairobi. You regret at times God prepares journey. I wish God, that's why he's God. He can't tell you what you are going to have next door. Otherwise, the world will be miraculous when you know what is going to happen tomorrow. But there is now a trend of knowing what is going to happen after 2022, August 10th. Ruto will not accept the defeat. That's why he is even doing negotiated democracy. Instead of doing suffrage, he's doing a negotiated type of democracy. It's elections. How much money, how much time, how much physical, moral support do we waste because we are conducting elections? Kiruka.
Very true, Doc. I agree with you. And so as I started my opening remarks, I said not all Africans believes in election. I also personally don't believe in elections to bring change. Reason being, Doc, the reason for election is for the change, but which change that you and I and you as an individual, you can't start up. Change starts with you, not with the leaders. Another thing with elections, more so in Kenya, elections in Kenya, like these Nigerian movies, the Afro cinemas, you can stage manage a scene, a cloud chase just for empathy and fame. And there's a slogan I love and a hashtag in Kenya I love, Wajinga Sisi. Yes, we Kenyans, we are the fools. And I love that hashtag so much, Wajinga ni Sisi. Because as you've said, Doc, people out there, they're sharpening the pangas, arrows, just because they can't accept defeat, or they'll just say mimi nitakufa na huyu, like the way you hear people are saying mimi ninakufa na Ruto. Utakufa na, will he attend even your burial? Does even that guy know that you exist in this world? So why are you dying for a politician? Is he ready to die for you?
That is medium. That's very interesting. Indeed, that's what I'm saying. Does Ruto know you? At least Ruto knows Matanga. Yes, he knows Matanga does exist. You should mimo who say takufa na yeye na mpenda hapana. But ananijua that Matanga does exist. That guy from Uganda. But wewe mtu ya Kericho unasema unakufa na Ruto, hata umjui akujui.
And Doc, that is the attitude I think we have in Africa. Elections is a matter of life and death. Just speaking from that sentence by Gladwell there, that is how we approach elections, and I think that is where we go wrong as a people.
It is a matter of life and death. Miriam, what killed Sankara? What killed Sankara? It's the same. This guy said, we have that matter of life and death, that this Sankara is doing very well than me. So we have that mindset, Miriam, my dear sister, until we rub it off. And then you have brought another point which, before we finish. Look at the issue of poverty. Poverty. To be poor. When you are poor, you're a beggar. When you're a beggar, you have no choice. That's why the elections in Africa are a business, commercial. The European Union is going to come to Chebukati and ask Chebukati, what problems do you have in the Electoral Commission? Chebukati will say, oh, Uhuru did not sign this money, this one, that one. The money is handed over. Why does the European Union have to do with our election payments? You come and pay. What you pay? No. How many of you in Africa pay for British election? that I am contributing to the British election. Voila! Kirangu, that have you ever paid money to the British government to hold elections?
No.
But why does the British government pay Kenya to hold these elections? That's where we go wrong as Africans. Why? Me, I like this guy of, have you seen in Gambia, They use marble. They don't print ballot papers. Stones, marble. Tunahesabu marble. Blue, red, yellow, candidate, black, red, yellow, orange, pink, marble. So if you love me, Mathanga's marble would be red color, red marble. So many of them, there's no cheating. Once the boxes, the debe, the drums are opened, marbles zinatoka, tunaweka hapo. The red color will be seen, the yellow will be seen. Who was yellow? Who was red? The red color has won. Hakuna ballot paper mutu that Africa you are going to tick. How many Africans even know how to read the names? Have you seen that other point? Literacy. Literacy, the only country in Africa that has 97% eradicated illiteracy. Do you know the country, Miriam?
I know you want to say Zimbabwe, but let me check those figures.
Yeah, you can check the figures, but Zimbabwe still stands high in Africa. The only country with high rate of
it does.
literacy.
About adult literacy rate for Zimbabwe was in 2014 88.7% adult literacy.
Exactly. Exactly. Kenya literacy. Give me the figure. Give me the figure. How many Kenyans know? Mweke hapo. Wachana hii watu ya kiruka, wachana kiragu kwa internet. Wanakugonga mawe kwa internet.
All right. Kenya adult literacy stands at 81.53%. So we're also doing pretty well.
You have done very well. You have 20%. That doesn't have. Go for Uganda.
Or for Uganda. This is good learning. I didn't know some of these things. So Uganda is adult literacy as per 2018 was at 76.5%. Not too bad.
Not too bad. We have gone down.
Yeah, 76.5.
We used to be the best in East Africa. Now we have gone down because there are some people a group of malcontents that don't even know how to spell words like a vernacular.
And Tanzania is just above that.
They find union, yes.
Tanzania is just slightly above Uganda with 77.89%. So I think East Africa, we're doing very well in terms of adult literacy levels, of course, an exception of South Sudan because of what has been going in there and others. But I think we're doing well.
So the problem finally sticks. A bad election is poison for disaster in Africa. A bad election creates chaos. A badly managed election, a badly or a gerrymandered election is not the thing for people in Africa to see and sit and say we are all right. Medium, I submit, therefore, that election in Africa are a poison. Why? Why? When shall we actually avoid the life and the death? That when you lose, that your life has gone. Are you not a lecturer in the university? Can't you look for another technical job and wait for 5 years? China has no elections. But China went back to remodel itself. It remodeled itself. And today China lends us money. No, you have no MP, no prime minister. Yet there's a prime minister and a foreign minister and a president. They just selected the president because he's not corrupt. Not a Chinese president to steal even 1 pence, which is not supposed. Miriam, did you know that if the president in China eats 1 noodle extra, noodle, you are supposed to eat. So you know why Chinese are slim like that? They are supposed to eat a number specified according to you. They have studied you. They say you will fill your stomach with 6 noodles. You don't go beyond 6 noodles and eat a duck and buy extra duck and add on the budget of the president's office, firing squad. So everybody needs the number of noodles that were counted for each family. When you go to the shops, they are available. They don't lack noodles. Are they called noodles? How do I call it, Miriam?
Yeah, like that.
Noodles, yes. Kiragu, if you went to China and you are told that you're a student in China and you will eat 6 noodles per day, and then you go and steal more than that, you might not come back to Africa because they will jail you. So with our corruption in Africa, election becomes a vehicle, a poison that destroys this continent. Thank you very much. I submit, viewers. And I thank you very much, my brother. In Mozambique, we have turmoil. And our brother from Mozambique has resurrected again. He had gone away, but thank you very much, sir. Sidonio Givandas. I had promised to meet you in London, but Corona struck us apart. So one of these days when I arrive in London, I'll look for you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you later. Bye-bye for now.